Namaste. Welcome to episode 3 of Flutter Complete App tutorial series. In this episode, we will set up Firebase Authentication in our application. For that, we will set up the required Firebase project in Firebase console, as well as set up dependencies and add config files and set up the different functionalities required to implement the Firebase Authentication. So, let us get started. The very first thing we need to do is we need to set up the Firebase Auth and Google Sign-in plugin in our project. In this tutorial, I'll show you the quickest way using the package that I have created, Flutter Automation. This package helps you automatically set up all those required steps for Firebase Authentication, Google Maps, Android signing, and Firestore code. But in this tutorial, we will see how to set up Firebase Authentication using Flutter Automation package. However, if you want to learn the complete steps required to set up Firebase Authentication in your application, I have another tutorial regarding Firebase Authentication. I'll provide the link in the description below. Don't forget to check it out. Now, we'll start setting up Firebase Authentication using Flutter Automation. For that, first open pubspec.yaml file and in the dev dependencies section, add Flutter Automation dependency. As this is dev dependencies, we do not need to specify any version as all versions of Flutter Automation are supported. This will get the latest version of Flutter Automation. Package get is running and it's completed. So now from the terminal, what we can do is, I have already tried this here. So what we can do is we can run flutter pub run flutter automation -f. So this -f flag will set up Firebase Authentication in our project. So if we now check the pubspec.yaml file, now there is 3 dependencies: Flutter, Firebase Auth, Provider, and Google Sign-in. So these are added by the Flutter Automation package automatically, and some more new files in our pages directory. So in our pages directory, there is home page, login page, splash page, user info page. So be careful that our home page is replaced. If we see here, so previously our home page was this, it is now replaced with this. So be careful that if you have similar files in the similar folder structure, that will be replaced by Flutter Automation. So before trying it, be sure to commit your changes so that you can revert any replaced files. So here I would like to have this home page also. So let me just copy this content and let's make a new file inside pages. Let's call this notes home.dart. Paste the content here. So this is our notes home. And as we already have designed our login page, we'll not be using this login page. However, we need to know the functions. So when login and sign in with Google is pressed, which functions are called, so that we can use those functions in our login page. Now, in order to use our login page, instead of this login page, we need to change few things in the provided home.dart file. So in the home.dart file, here the login page comes from the existing login page. So instead of that, we will just import our login page that we have designed. So it's inside auth login. And next, instead of providing user info page when successfully authenticated, we would like to provide our notes home. So let's change this home page into notes home page. Okay. And here, instead of user info page, let's just use notes home page. Okay, so now we have Notes home page when successfully logged in, authenticated. So this Firebase authentication automation also creates one user repository file. It's a change notifier with all the Firebase authentication functions set up, so that we can use these functions to sign in with Google in our application. Now in our login page, first thing we'll implement is sign in with Google. So in the login form, let's find the sign in with Google button. Let's see, Google. Okay. Continue with Google. And in the on pressed, so let's check the login form provided here. So here is sign in with Google, and on pressed, it's a asynchronous function. Let's just copy all of this, and here let us paste it. So upon sign in with Google, it will call this user.signin with Google, but we do not have user in this field. So let's create the user repository. So here user repository is provided. So let's go to our login page. In the build function, let's import provider and our user repository. And key, this key is for scaffold key. Let us create one key for our scaffold. Scaffold state underscore key. And assign this key to our scaffold. Okay, now the error is gone. So sign in with Google function is implemented. Next, we need to implement the login form. For login form to work, we need to make quite a bit of changes. First, let us change the login form into stateful wizard. Next, let us wrap our column with a form wizard. Wrap with new wizard. Form. And let us create a form key. Form state. Okay. Let us assign the form key to our form. Key. Next, we'll create two controllers for our email field and password field. Text editing controller, email, text editing controller, password. Let's create an init state function. So here we will initialize email is equal to text editing controller, and password is also new text editing controller, and then in the text form field we'll assign, this is email field, so we'll assign email, and this is password field, so we'll assign password. So we now have the controller. So we can also validate, validator val. So if val.is empty, then return email is required. Okay, and same for the password, validator if val is empty, return password is required. Finally, when the login button is pressed, so let's copy the function from this and we'll modify it as required. Let's paste it here. So this user, we need to pass it, we already have, or we can just get it from the provider. So here again in the build, and this key, we do not have the scaffold key, so for now we'll not show any message. We will just await user sign in. Okay, and we'll pass the email.text and password.text in order to sign in the user. Okay, our login button is also set up, and to set up sign up, in the Flutter automation package, sign up is not set up. So first we need to do is, in the user repository we need to create a sign up function. So let us just copy the sign in function, duplicate this, and let's make this sign up email and password. So instead of underscore auth.signin with email and password, we do create user with email and password, and we pass the email and password. Okay, and we'll set up the sign up form according to our login form. So we'll convert the sign up form into stateful wizard, and here first let's create controllers. Controller email password and confirm password. Also let us wrap the column with the form. Let us also create form key. Okay, we have assigned the form a key. Form key. Then in the email address field, assign controller underscore email. Password field, controller password, and confirm password field, underscore confirm password. Okay, again validator val if is empty, return email is required. So let's copy this validator in the password field. Let's make password is required, and same in the confirm password field. Confirm password is required. So when we do create account, let's do async and let's copy from login. So let us copy this. So user, again we need the user repository. Let's copy this and paste it inside our build function. Okay, and user dot sign up. We can add one more step. If underscore confirm password dot text is equals underscore password dot text. So these two must be equal in order to sign up. Next, we are going to create Firebase project in the Firebase console. For that, go to console.firebase.google.com. If you have not already logged in with your Google ID, log in, and there click the add project button. Once you click the add project button, you can enter your project name. Here we use Flutter Notes app and continue. Let's just disable the analytics for this project and press create project. It will take some time to create our project. Until then, we are going to figure out the application ID for our project that is required later. So in the build.gradle file inside Android app folder, there is this default config section inside which there is the application ID. So by default, the application ID is com.example.the project name. If you have not provided the org option with Flutter create command. So in order to change this application ID, we need to make two changes. First, let's change this. I'd like to name it com.popupbits.flutternotes.app. And next thing to change is inside Android app src main folder, there is either Kotlin or Java folder inside which you have your project. So if you are using Kotlin in Android, then you have a Kotlin and com example. So we need to change this example folder, rename this example to exactly as what you've used in your application ID. Okay, once done that, we need to make certain changes here also. Our package name becomes com.popupbits. Okay, next our manifest file, again here com.popupbits. So we need to make these changes in order to change our Android package name. So this package name is required later when we add the config file to our Firebase project. So let's check our Firebase project. It has successfully created. Let us press continue. And before adding apps, let's do few housekeeping. Like in the authentication section, we need to enable the sign-in method. So for now, we would like the email and password based sign-in, save, and Google sign-in enable, use the project name as Flutter Notes app and default email as provided and save. So we have enabled the email and password based sign in and Google sign in. Now in the project overview, in get started by adding Firebase to your app, press the Android icon. So our package name is the one we created, com.popupbits.flutter notes app. Okay, and Flutter Notes Android app, let's just say, and debug signing certificate is required if we want to use Google sign in. So let's get our debug key. So in order to get the debug key hash, we use the key tool with export cert list and v flags with alias option. The default alias is Android debug key, and the key store is inside the .android folder debug.keystore. So press enter. The default password is Android. Sorry, the password Android. So I hit the incorrect password. So just copy the SHA1 hash from here, copy and paste it in this field. So register app. Once the app is registered, just download the config file. Okay, and once the config file is downloaded, what we need to do is we just need to drag the config file and place it inside Android app folder. So in the app folder we'll have Google services.json file. Once this is available, now we can run our application. So let's start the Pixel 2. Sorry. Let's try again. Okay. So I was unable to run in debug version because we changed the Android manifest file for the production version but not for the debug version. So just if you get the same error on the debug Android manifest.xml, just control click and in here change the package name accordingly. Once you change the package in the Android manifest, now run it again with F5. Once that is done, you should successfully be able to build your app and run. So let us first test continue with Google button. Okay. We are getting the accounts. Let's choose one of the accounts. Okay, we have successfully logged in with Google button in our application. So for now, we'll just place a logout button in our app bar in our Notes home. So Notes home, in the app bar, actions. So icon button on pressed, provider dot off user repository dot context dot sign out. Okay, and icon should be exit button. Okay, this should log out. First, let us fix the obscure password field. So let's go to our login.dart, and first in the login form, text form field password, obscure test true. Okay, and in sign up again, password true, and confirm password true. Okay, so here let us check if sign up was successful or not. If not successful, then print failed to sign up. Let's do same for the login. So here, if not, print login failed, so that we can see. Okay, so first let us test sign up. test.com, password, create account. Okay, so it is giving us some error. The text was called on null. Okay, so in the sign up form we forgot to initialize these text editing controllers, so we need a init state function here. Text editing controller, underscore email is equals to text editing controller underscore password text editing controller and underscore confirm password text editing controller. Okay, so we need to hot restart as we have changed the state. Now let us go to our sign up button and try signing up. test.com, password, confirm password. So okay, we are able to successfully create and user has logged in. And let us finally test our sign in button with the user we just created. test@test.com, password is password, login. Okay, so we are able to sign in as well. So one thing that remains is showing the progress bar. So let's log out, and in the login, first let us try the continue with Google button. So let's go to our continue with Google button here. So in the raised button, what we'll do is user there is status equals status dot authenticating, then we show circular progress indicator, otherwise we show the raised button. Okay, let's do the same for our sign in button in the login form. Okay, and sign up button in the sign up form. So now if we use the email and password and press the login, we should have the progress bar. Okay, so the progress bar here is not showing because it has the same color as the background. So we make a couple of changes here. First, we wrap this with center so that progress bar is not, sorry, we just wrap the circular progress indicator with the center. Child. Let's copy this and change it in login form as well as sign in with Google button. So here as well, and here the color should be, background color should be white. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so we can now see the indication. So when there is something wrong, the sign in with Google button gives the error message, but login and sign up form doesn't give the error message. So this is not giving any error message. So let us fix that. First, in our main form login wizard, we make a function called so message, and here what we'll do is we'll do this. So cut this, we'll call the show message from here, and in show message we'll do this, and in the login form we pass the function show error, and down here if this failed we do wizard.show error. We call this function. Same for the sign up form. Okay, and down here instead of print we call dot show error function. And finally, from our login wizard where we call the login form, we pass in show error show message. Same for the sign up form, so message. And let's do a hot restart and let's try it. Let's use anything, press login. Okay, so we have something is wrong, so we now can give the user feedback. So here again, if we try an invalid email address, it should give us the error message. Create account, validate. Oh, sorry, these two fields must be same. Let's press create account. Okay, so again, if these two fields are not same, what I can do is else show error. So here should be option to pass the message. So I'll pass the message password and confirm does not match. Okay, and to do this, what we'll do is here we'll make the message string message, and we'll provide a default value. Something is wrong, and in content, instead of using this, we use message and show error message. So here message. Okay, so now if we mismatch the password, create account, let's see, sign up, visit.showError. If confirm password text is not equal to password text. So okay, this else is corresponds to this. What I need to do is I need to place this inside this. Okay, that way. Okay, now the password and confirm password does not match. We get the messages. So in this tutorial, we have successfully implemented the Firebase authentication in our application. Thank you everyone for watching this tutorial. Provide us your feedback and also suggestions like what you want in the next episode and so on. Thank you.